In the second video of this 11 class teaching, we'll be looking at how to discern between true and false spirit guides. Before you begin any meditation and tuning in session to connect with your guides, you must ensure you're well protected and not attracting false spirit guides. This indeed is the fastest way you'll get yourself into strife, go off track, and end up with all kinds of issues. Why? Well, very simple. The Holy Bible quotes, "And many false prophets shall arise and deceive many." These are the words of Jesus himself and the words of great ascended Master Paul, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. And believe you me when I say we have met many and we ourselves have been deceived many times by these beings. So in other words, there'll be lots of false spirit guides rising and leading many in the wrong direction, and certainly very keen to take you off your path and maintain control of the planet and be able to do the self-centered actions which they're engaged in those astral realms. And yes, unfortunately, in the same way we have beings or people on this planet in the 3D physical realm who are doing things that aren't good by the planet, as well as those who are doing the right thing, equally in the higher realms and the astral realms, you have beings who are causing a lot of problems for similar reasons for their own self-interest. When you realize you're being falsely guided, it's too late and your life will go downhill before you know it. So when you go through challenges such as financial challenges, misalignment with your path, and when I say not so much these things, but in a strange way, like you just can't seem to get on path, you seem to be getting unusual financial challenges that don't seem to escape from you, like bizarre happenings like money disappearing, investments getting all lost at the same time, health problems that are unexpected and just keep turning up for no apparent reason, depression, and just feeling negative and flat and you just don't know why because there's no logical reason. You now know what lies behind it. However, the good news is you don't have to fear or get caught up in it or feel that you're stuck in that place. For here's the steps to follow to discern between a true and a false spirit guide. In particular, when you're tuning into your spirit guides, number one, you must remove ego. This is the whole reason why you have negative spirit guides and dark beings in the first place, and so many problems on our planet is people's egos and the fact that people won't humble themselves, be vulnerable, and are a bit of a know-all. And the fastest way to attract yourself a negative spirit guide is going with a big ego. Why? Because they themselves have a big ego, these negative spirit guides. So in the same way as if you turn on a radio station to say 95.9, and that's what you'll hear, not what's on 98.7, you similarly, if you're on a lower vibration of ego and self-centeredness, you'll start attracting beings who are similar to that. And believe you me when I say, those with the higher vibration, they've let go of their need for ego. Always protect yourself using a pyramid. Visualize a pyramid over your physical and energetic body, and then visualize a magenta force field covering the pyramid. A pyramid in books like The Earth's Energies and others have shown to be higher vibration. Various experiments by people like David Wilcock and others have shown that it's like an energy magnifier. Pyramids, for example, have been found that when you put them even over plants, they'll last a lot longer. They've been known to revitalize fruit which has gone off and revitalize areas, and I've used them myself extensively. So they will give you a high vibrational energy and protect you from the dark. Know and fully believe your light is stronger than the darkness. Faith and belief are some of the most important principles when you're trying to achieve anything in life. And most importantly, question every spirit that you encounter. Because when you enter the spirit realm, you're opening yourself up to incredibly strong forces. When you're communicating with any spirit, no matter how light or pure or beautiful or yummy or lovely they feel, first ask them, this is the first test of two, to confess that Jesus came in the flesh of God. It might sound strange, but it actually does work. The Holy Bible actually says this. It says, "Hear how you know the Spirit of God. Every spirit which confesses that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh of God, as compared to every spirit that does not confess this, is a spirit of Antichrist, which you've heard will come and even now is in the world." So that's a very good test. I personally go a little bit further, which I'll show you very shortly. A true divine spirit guide will always confess Jesus came in the flesh of God to you with joy and harmony and be very happy to even hear the mention of Jesus or Yeshua, whichever way you like to call him. However, of false spirit guides, number one, they won't like it, and they certainly won't confess it, since they know the law of karma and authority, and they can't lie once they're high vibrational and you're using high vibrational names. Secondly, a great question to ask, and I do this, is are you aligned with the order of Melchizedek, the order of Enoch, and the blood of Christ? And this goes down from J.J. Hurtak's book, The Keys of Enoch, the Pistis Sophia, where he talks about what's called the higher level vibrational orders, which he learnt when he had a powerful experience where he was transfigured in his physical body into the higher realms. So there's three orders, and if they're not aligned, believe you me, they go in a second. So that's a great question to ask. By asking these questions, you will sift out the false spirit guides really, really quickly. And then once this is done, you just sit in stillness and you listen. You're not always going to get messages instantly. You may just get quick senses or thoughts, or even synchronicities in the coming days. Whatever message you get, action it. And one thing I will mention here is that with the messages, if you've forgotten to do the false spirit guides test, if you start getting what's called hasty messages or ones that make you feel rushed or anxious, it usually is these false spirit guides. The ones who work within the light, they do give you choice, and they can be tough with you at times and give you a shove along, but they do honor your right to choose. And so I can remember my partner, for example, kept getting a message telling her, you've got to go work for the ATO undercover, because she was really annoyed at paying high taxes. And she kept telling me, I don't really want to do it, but this voice keeps telling me. So I did the test and straight away it left. So sometimes if you do forget and you get a message that feels strange, and ask the question again. If you have asked it or if you haven't, just keep asking it. So it's very important to action the messages and to continue practicing every day, even if only for 15 minutes, because after a while, you will start to notice that you get better at it. And as I've mentioned in the previous videos, it's so important that you take action and you actually do it. Like you actually do what's been told to you, and you very quickly get out and actually start taking action. If you keep telling someone a message and they ignore your messages, after a while you'll stop talking to them. And believe you me when I say that spirit guides are exactly the same, and the angels. If you're not listening, they will tend to very quickly back off from you, and you'll find you'll be on your own, and then you'll have some horrible events go wrong in your life, and you'll be like, what went wrong? And they'll say, well, we were trying to warn you. And I've had this happen the hard way as well as the good way. So listen to them. If you're scared to implement what they say, be vulnerable with them. That's why you let go of ego. Tell them, look, I'm scared. I feel you're telling me to go and speak to this person or go and do this thing. It scares me, but I'm going to be obedient, but I need your help because I'm scared shitless. And they love honesty. So you always work on yourself internally and make sure you're continuing to grow, continuing to challenge yourself, and really continuing to work on yourself and grow. And raising your consciousness, something you will learn more about in our weekly study group. Because you find as you get to a higher and higher vibration, you get less of these false spirit guides coming your way. And generally what does happen though is as you get to these higher vibrations, the ones that do come are a lot trickier. Because now you're dealing with some of the ones who've managed to operate in high vibrational realms. And sadly, there are actually ones that have managed to get in the 8th, 9th, and even 10th dimensional consciousness or 11th. They've worked out how to access those realms, and they can actually cause trouble in these very high realms. So just be aware that they can actually tamper with you in those realms. So that's why it's so important to follow this test strictly and really make sure you keep on doing them, because these things can quickly lead you astray. And most importantly, surrender and trust and just let go, because then they really love to talk to you and they love to guide you. Notice the changes in your life once you connect with your guides. So ask things like, how does your energy feel after it? Very important question. If it doesn't feel good, it's probably a false guide. Are you gaining more clarity on your path? Is your happiness increasing? Are you getting new ideas to make money that are really productive and serving humanity rather than being unethical or swindling people? And so on. If you don't notice any positive changes, take a very good look and see what could be going wrong. Are you actioning the messages your guides are sending you, or did you break protocol and allow a false spirit guide to influence you? And go through and test it. We had a situation where one of my sons had a spirit guide, two women spirit guides leading him for about a month, and he was all excited. And suddenly he told me something that felt wrong, so we tested them, and sure enough, they quickly ran away. And he realized, like, yikes. So we had to do a fair bit of clearing on him. In our next class, I hope this last one we just found useful and you implement it in your life. In our next class, we'll reveal some methods false spirit guides may use to enter your field to influence you. So we're teaching you the loopholes and how they actually get in. So just a reminder what we've covered today, the introduction, we've covered about true and false. Next class, we'll look at how false spirit guides could affect you and how to close the loopholes in your life which allow them in. Anyway, we'll see you at the next class. Look forward to seeing you. Bye for now, and don't forget to implement and put into practice everything you've been learning.